Hi, and welcome to Squiggle Park. I'm Becky, and I've been teaching special ed in Rhode Island for 23 years. I'd like to offer some tips about how to manage devices in a special ed classroom. While many things may be the same as in a general ed class, there are other things that you may want to consider too. In this video, we will cover some strategies to make it easier to manage devices in your class, whether you are just starting out or are frustrated and looking for some help. First of all, our goal in special education is always to build independence, and this is no different when using devices. I myself have worried whether my kindergarten resource students could log in on their own. So when contemplating using devices and needing to log everyone in, it seemed daunting. Then I visited some classrooms that simply expected it of their students. Watching kindergarten students independently log in to Chromebooks was powerful to me and made me set the bar higher. To make it work, give every student a ring of laminated cards of the various logins needed. Include the app icon on the card so that students are visually reminded which login is which. Squiggle Park's player codes, seen here, are picture-based, so that it is easy for students to log in independently. For more complex logins, you may want to screenshot the login screen of an app or site and use this as the background of the card so students can see exactly where the information goes. After setting the standard that you expect all students to log in on their own, put supports in place for while they are learning. First, practice a lot. Next, find the students who demonstrate some ability with this and make them textperts. Let the other kids know that this is who they should go to before coming to you, freeing you up for teaching instead of troubleshooting. This also reinforces the leadership skills of the textperts. Do you have sites students need to visit rather than apps? Having a few QR codes around the room to allow students to quickly and easily get to the site without asking you how to spell it will be worth the time. Again, model and practice how students use QR codes. And don't worry, there are even QR code reader extensions for Chromebooks. Visuals are the standard for any special ed classroom, and so should be factored into your device management system. You want to have clear rules, such as carrying the iPad carefully, sitting down to use it, being safe, not hitting or banging the device, and of course, working only in the app that is assigned. When you create these rules for your class, include visuals that support your non-readers or those with limited reading ability. Having helped with managing devices both in a special ed classroom and for an entire school, I've learned a few important lessons about being proactive. In order to make each iPad easily identifiable, create a numbered wallpaper for each one. This helps so that even if a cover is removed, you still know which is which, and it is easy for students to find the one assigned to them. If you have students who frequently get out of the assigned app on an iPad, either on purpose or accidentally, then turn on guided access. Now, this requires an adult to enter a passcode in order to change apps or close out. So while helpful, it's best to only use it when really needed. A final tip for setting up an iPad in advance is to try to limit the apps students will need to just one screen. This helps your students find what's needed while preventing frustration. Just as you provide accommodations for other tasks, using Chromebooks or tablets may require the same. One aspect that sometimes impacts students is how they will view the screens. Students who require slant boards and work better with that orientation are likely to need a similar accommodation with a tablet. There are several ways this may be addressed. First, by using flexible seating, such as a scoop rocker on the floor, a tablet could be kept on a student's lap or resting against her knees. Another option is to get cases that have kickstands. Or, for a low-cost option you probably have right in your room, put a large binder, such as a 3-inch one, on their desk with the spine close to the far edge of the desk. This will allow them to lay the tablet on it so it rests at an angle. Consider some of these options in advance so that students can easily view the device's screen. The last thing to consider for your devices is where you will keep them and who is in charge of plugging them in. Consider a location that will keep them safe, but also be easy for students to access, so that they can be responsible for getting them and putting them away. Headphone storage should also be considered to eliminate wasted time untangling cords. An option that I've seen work well is hanging shoe storage pockets, so that each student has an assigned pocket. Another thing to consider is to have parents send in headphones so that they are a good match to the student's sensory needs. The final step for all the preparation that you've done to use devices smoothly within your special ed classroom is to model and practice the routines. Spend time practicing over and over with how to follow through on the steps, one at a time, in order to be sure that students know and understand the expectations. Taking time to be prepared for using devices in your special ed class will help your students become more independent and offer you more time for instruction. For more ideas from the Squiggle Squad, follow us on Twitter at SquiggleParkEDU and follow me at BeckyJones105. For answers to questions or get support, reach us at the email here, teachers@squigglepark.com. With planning and practice, your students will be using devices in your classroom and it will be running safely and smoothly.